Hey everybody, Gina here. So excited to be on. We're trying out Be Live again today, and I just popped over to Instagram to tell everybody to come over and listen to all things Mastermind. So I'm going to wait a few minutes, and hopefully some people will pop on. I just want to make sure we are truly live on my phone here. So I wanted to really address some questions. So if you hang out with me on Instagram, which is where I spend a lot of my time lately, I had some conversations and some questions about, do people understand what masterminds are? Have you ever participated in any? And I had a lot of people say, no, they don't know what they are. Please tell me. So the best way I figured was to come on and talk about masterminds, like the good, the bad, the magic in between. And then I also have my friend and client, Jessica, who is on with us today. And she's going to share her experience and kind of what she likes about them and what she has experienced in our mastermind as well. So that is what we are doing today. And I figured, why not? So the first question that I got on Instagram was, what is a mastermind? They're like, you're talking about masterminds. I don't really even get what one is. And so there's a lot of different reasons to join a mastermind. Some of them are peer-led. Some of them are facilitator or coach-led. Some of them are a part of a bigger training or program that maybe you've been a part of. And so they're all different types. There's personal growth and development masterminds. There are business masterminds. There are ones for fitness. But it usually is a supportive group, usually kind of intimate. So masterminds usually aren't 50 people, aren't 20 people. They're usually around 10 or less, where we can mastermind. So bring all of our minds together and use our minds to support each other so that you can be a reflection of each other. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and why that's maybe more helpful than one-on-one. But first, before I introduce Jessica, I wanted to tell you about my experience. The first time I ever did a mastermind was my life coach training that I did, which was probably 5 or 6 years ago. I don't even know now. And with that, I actually started my own mastermind. So I had some women that I had friended in the group that I really connected with, and we all kind of had different talents and unique gifts. And I asked them. So I said, hey, let's study together. Let's question, ourselves and support each other in this course that we were taking together. So there was 4 of us that got together, and we had a call every week. And this was before Zoom. I think we tried to do it on Skype, or we do phone calls. And it was really supportive through that process. And then from that, I did one that was also peer-led. So I've been kind of leading masterminds for a while, was my soul sisters. So these women that we all started our businesses around the same time, and we supported each other as we went forward. Those are the ones that I've been a part of and facilitated. And then I kind of dove into working one-on-one with a coach myself. I was kind of done with doing groups and kind of being with the masses of group programs and being, kind of lost in the crowd. So I really wanted one-on-one work with people. So let me know in the comments below if you're joining on, if you have any questions about masterminds whatsoever. Whether you want to know more details about them, or if you have had a good experience or a bad experience, or those kinds of things. So that's kind of what we're chatting about today. So I worked with a one-on-one client, one-on-one coach for a while, and I had the belief for a long time that I couldn't be in a mastermind, that masterminds weren't going to help me because I wanted to be directly coached one-on-one. And that actually took me a couple years, and I did that for a while until I finally, I found a coach who was offering a program that was a hybrid program that had one-on-one work and the mastermind. And I thought that might be a good way to get my toe dipped in again, because I do love being with other people, and I do see value in shared ideas and shared thoughts. And I will tell you that that's what changed the game for me. That's why now I do masterminds, because I didn't realize that not only could I get one-on-one work with my coach, I also could then see what was being reflected in the other women's stories. And even when my coach was helping them, it was helping me at the same time. And this is the biggest thing for me. And Jessica maybe can chime in on that. We see themes, like always themes. There's like, I'm feeling a certain way. And many times I think I'm in a funnel, right? You think you're in your own silo thinking, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this way this week. This is so difficult. I must be the only one. But then when you actually get outside yourself and we get together in our mastermind, we realize that this is actually a common theme, that we're going through this together. And there's just something about knowing that you're not alone and that you have these elements to reflect on that can really support you in achieving your goals. So that's kind of my take on masterminds. Is it's really like a goal accelerator. It's a good word, isn't it? To get you where you want to go faster, stronger, more supportive, right? Especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, especially if you are kind of on your own most of the time, because it does get really lonely, especially as an entrepreneur, when you're pursuing your goals, and it can be like you're shooting in the dark. So it brings you together in a place where we can support each other. There are peer ones where nobody really leads. We all just kind of talk about what's coming up for you next, and we all chime in. And then there's facilitator ones where maybe there's some themes, there's some guidance with a coach or something like that. So that's kind of what masterminds consist of in a nutshell. And the bad parts of masterminds sometimes is that they fall apart. So there's paid masterminds and free masterminds too. I've been a part of both. The free ones can be sometimes just as valuable, but sometimes when they tend to be the ones that fall apart, at least in my experience. And I don't know if Jessica's ever been a part of those, and I'll let you chime in a second. And so if anybody's ever been a part of a free one, how long did they last? I know for me, I'll kind of come in and out of a free one, or we start really strong and then we kind of fade out because we don't have any skin in the game. So that's also happened. But I've also paid way too much money for a mastermind that maybe I didn't get as much value as I thought. And so there's everything in between. And I've now changed my belief that I actually think that when we actually get minds together, which is literally what a mastermind is, we get our minds together and we troubleshoot and we support each other in the challenges and the blocks that are getting in their way from success, then we actually, again, we're stronger together. So there's creating that community, but also moving these mountains together, because two minds are better than one. So that's how I see it. And I actually have one of my clients and friends, Jessica, on, and we're having a little bit of issues with our camera on Be Live. But I wanted to, so you can hear her audio, and hopefully you can hear her. So we'll have to check to see if anybody's on, if you want to say hello, and if you can hear her. Jessica, do you want to say something? Make sure you can be heard.
Testing. No, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. And so I'm just checking my page to see if we are still live. Yeah. So hopefully you guys, if anybody's on watching, let us know. It's really hard to see the comments and Be Live, but let us know you can hear Jessica. I can hear you, so I'm going to assume we can hear you. Okay. So hello and welcome.
Hello. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So first, since we're kind of tackling all things mastermind, and this is just for my community and friends and people, followers, to just kind of get an idea of what masterminds are and why you would maybe want to join one. I know for you and I think you've been a part of ones before. You and I crossed paths, and you and I have worked one-on-one, and you've been a part of the Sister Mind, which is the one that I do. So we're going to go kind of more general and then go deeper as far as like, how do you feel about masterminds in the past or currently?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think you touched on most everything that I would say, but of course, I guess I'll say it in a little bit different way. Mm-hmm. But I mean, masterminds can really be hit or miss. I haven't joined a lot of them, but part of the reason I didn't is the few that I tried, they were kind of just peers getting together. They petered out quickly if they barely even got started. Mm-hmm. That can work if you find the right people, but a lot of times people aren't as, literally they're not as invested in it because they don't have any, like you said, skin in the game, any money. And you really have to find the right fit for you because, it's, everyone is each group is so different in the way they work. And, for a long time I thought that I needed to find a mastermind of people who were in my business and my niche. And then and do what I do. And then I went the opposite way and was like, I want a group with nobody that does it, because you talk a lot about like intimate things and your plans and your goals. And of course you don't want your, I hate competition, but your competitors to hear all of your detailed plans and feelings and everything about stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the group with you is a good balance for me, because everyone in the group does something different than I do, but yet there's little pieces that are kind of related that we have in common. So it's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually brings up a good point, because I didn't even think about it till you said it, is like, should you join masterminds with people in your same industry? And like I said, I think it really depends. One of the things I've noticed, because I've had people ask me, they're like, well, like, Gina, like say there's a yoga instructor or something. They're like, you're not a yoga instructor, so you can't help me. And I always joke, I'm like, I don't have to know your specific industry to help you succeed, right? And help you like thrive in, I'm of the fan that you're all experts in your own industry.
Yeah.
And we've shared that in the mastermind, right? We all have our expertise, and it's really kind of nice to bring everybody together, because sometimes you got to get out of your silo.
Yeah. And to me, the whole idea of masterminds is, it's not providing, oh, sorry, someone's going to come knock on the door. I think it'd make the dogs go crazy. It's not providing you direct answers to your questions. It's providing you insight so you can answer your own questions. So, you're expert at, I'm expert at what I do, but a lot of the issues we come up against, each of us individually still have common threads. Yeah. And it's listening to the other people's stories that allow you to gain new insight into your problem.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's probably the biggest thing that we get out of masterminds is the common threads, right? And noticing that like these people aren't in the same industry, and they're not even making money really the same way as you in your business. But there's the challenges. And as you know, right, in our sister mind, we have the common theme of the ambitious woman who is so hard on themselves, right? And so we have like, we beat ourselves up, and we get in our own way, and we are so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that really is the common theme, right? Yeah. So you've been a part of, not only worked with me one-on-one, but then you decided to join the Sister Mind, and you've been part of it for the last 6 months. So tell me a little bit about, we're going a little deeper here. So that experience and what you really loved about it, kind of what maybe you realized or your biggest benefit from it.
Well, your program is definitely like the best of both worlds for me, because we do get one-on-one coaching sessions, but then we also get the mastermind experience. Like I said, with the sharing of ideas, and like you said, just not feeling alone. You think, I grapple with all these things and it's just me, because another big thing about working for yourself, is that you don't have coworkers you go in and see every day. You don't have, you don't have this contact, and, you really, really get in your silo, and you can't usually, you can have your friends, Facebook message or whatever. They may or may not understand and be able to give like decent advice and stuff. But, it's like having a regular check-in then with a group of people too is kind of like, like if you went into the office a couple times a month or something, just to meet with everybody there and get a bigger picture of what's going on in the world and things like that, Yeah.
So. Yeah. I look forward to the mastermind calls too. It's nice to be in unit, especially when you're a solo entrepreneur doing things by yourself and relating with people. Right.
Yeah.
And kind of finding that common ground. So that's how, I think masterminds can be super beneficial for so many different types of people, but I think especially for solo entrepreneurs, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else that you found helpful specifically in the Sister Mind that's maybe a little different?
Well, obviously something, because, I'm doing it again. I signed up again, but I can't exactly put my finger on it.
Magic.
It's just the right fit for me. Like it feel, you talk about this a lot. It just feels right. It just feels good. Like I'm usually one to overanalyze things and like have all these rational decisions of why I do stuff. But in this case, not so much besides what I already mentioned. It's
Yeah.
just it feels like a comfortable shoe. It feels like the place
Mhm.
I should be that's helpful for me. It makes me feel better and more positive and motivated after the calls, and it helps really to keep me on track. Is a big thing, is check in.
Yes.
It's like it inspires me, it gets me going in all of the right ways, and then also provides accountability and keeps me on track.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I love that, and I love how as I curate, the sister mind, which I'm pretty particular about, but everybody has their different roles, and you're right,
Mhm.
you are very rational, and you actually bring that to the group many times too, like a very rational way. And sometimes when you contribute, it's good, because sometimes you need to be like, okay, well, have you looked at it like this? Like, have you considered this? And
Mhm.
but I do love that you're also following what feels good, because that's right, the baselines of what I teach and what I'm trying to hold you all accountable to is
Yeah.
doing what feels good and following that. And thank you
Mhm.
for that. That's very sweet. I do love that, because that's like, me. You guys all know
Right.
my heart explode when you guys say like stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. Um, but yeah, like when you know it, it's right. I think that if anybody is out there listening and being like, I don't know, I've never tried one before. Sometimes, to me, you're right. It's like a shoe that feels good. Like you'll know if it feels good, and you'll know if it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And so knowing that there's women that are here to be open and vulnerable, and we talk about, not only our business, but we talk about personal
Mhm.
stuff, because they're also intertwined um,
Yeah.
to reaching our goals, especially as entrepreneurs and solo
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, right? So um, it's so interesting. So um, thanks for that.
Mhm.
I'm excited. So those of you listening in, so I only open up the Sister Mind 2 times a year, because it's a 6-month mastermind, and 2 times a year I open it up to allow new women who have been thinking about joining us. Usually it's people who have attended one of my retreats or have been a client in the past of mine. And so this year, right now, we're opening it up again to add a couple more people, anywhere from 3 to 4. So only a couple more spots that we are going to, still want it to be really intimate. We want to be able to support each other fully over the next 6 months. So when you think about your goals and what you really want to achieve in the next 6 months, do you need this kind of support? Do you need the support of like a close knit group where you feel like you can really rely and get perspective and help accountability? And then also one on one, right? Having that one on one time with me, which I only create things, Jessica knows this too about me. I only create things that I would want to do myself. Like, so when I think about the mastermind that I would want to be a part of, I would want both time with my coach and as a group. And so that's what I do, right? Is being able to know that sometimes you just have to dive in with me, right? Jessica, you know this. Sometimes you have to hold those like really juicy things that you really want to get done with me for your one-on-one. And then bring all the other things and accountability to the group. So that's what I'm excited for. So I just wanted to let everybody know that the Sister Mind is open for enrollment. You can get on a phone call with me, or you can apply through the website. It's ginafresquez.com/sistermind. I will put it below in the links, and it's called Sister Mind. And I didn't actually come up with that word. It actually became very organic the very first time I ran this mastermind, as I was calling it the Soul Sisterhood Mastermind, I think is what I was calling it. And it was about sisterhood and mastermind joined together. And so I actually had somebody who was working for me and doing some work for me. She's like, oh, just the sister mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that is the best word ever, because you're, mashing up those two words. So it's a sisterhood as far as the support, the accountability, the making sure we're both open and vulnerable, that you trust these women. That's kind of what I'm trying to create here. And then also the mastermind. So they're all business owners, they're all entrepreneurs in similar places to you. So it's a sister mind. So I'm just letting everybody know that it is open for enrollment. Jessica will be with us again. We're going to have Kathleen on later. Kathleen's joining us again. And we are really excited to continue going. And for those of you that want to join hands with us, it is going to be open. We're going to start later this month. And so let me know if you're interested. Or if you just have questions about Mastermind, like I can answer them. I also know other people putting on masterminds. And so if this isn't the right fit for you, there's a lot of different kinds out there too. So if you feel like you need that kind of support, I would say definitely go with what feels good and find your match. So Jessica, anything else? Thanks for joining with me.
No, thanks for having me on. And I look forward to our next 6 months.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So, and I'm hoping we can all get together face to face at some point. So
Mhm.
that's my goal this time around too. So, all right. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the sun in Seattle, and I'll talk to the rest of all of you guys later.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.